Have you been looking for your keys to success? You have found the best place to start. We will hear from professionals on different keys to success in building huge careers in and outside the mortgage industry. These conversations that each person will share their experience will allow you to hear nuggets on finding your keys to success. I'm your host, SueMeitner, so let's get started and grab your keys. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Grab Your Keys. I have an EO member of mine who we love, a good EO, the Entrepreneurs Women's Organization or Entrepreneurs Organization, and I just love the women in it. So Renee Rhinehart is the party planner. She is an event planner, owner, staffing, and everything you need to host parties. You've been on all the ABC, CBS, NBC, absolutely everywhere. You just got an award for being one of the top women, people we admire. I'm so proud of you. You've done an amazing job. So Renee, welcome to Grab Your Keys.
Thanks, Sue. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, this is so exciting. I feel like I see you everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, on the news, absolutely everywhere. I love watching how you're planning parties. I am a party planner at heart. So how did you get into this party planning business?
Yeah, so I have always loved events. I've always loved parties. Since high school, I was the social coordinator of my group of friends. I have a really shoddy photocopied invitation I made for a party in high school, and a friend brought it to my attention lately. I was like, oh my gosh, we've come a long way, baby. You would use a Sharpie and then photocopy it and send it around. But back when I was in college, which I graduated from Eastern in 2003, there weren't a lot of programs that I personally was aware of for event planning. Of course, I could have gone into culinary or maybe design, but there wasn't anything around here. So I put my attention towards PR, and I got a public relations degree, which I think helps me now being a business owner.
Yeah.
And it sort of weaved together. As a PR person, you're constantly throwing events for clients, and back then the lines were very blurry. You were doing marketing, PR, and event planning all in one role. My first job out of college was at Mainline Today magazine, so I did their marketing. I started as an assistant, and I worked my way up, and that big Best of the Mainline party was my baby every year. Back then we used to do it at QVC in the studio. And I just learned so much from that job, and had a couple jobs after that. But really, I started Events by Renee. It'll be 20 years next year.
Wow, so, 2 decades. That's amazing.
And then almost 15 years ago is when I thought of the idea for Party Host Helpers.
Right. Party Host Helpers. Tell us a little bit about what each company does and how they're different.
Yeah, so Events by Renee is still my full-service planning company. We are primarily in the Philadelphia tri-state area. I'll travel, but we do events around here. So, for example, weddings, corporate events, social events. We have a huge 50th birthday party next weekend we're throwing for a client. We have 4 weddings next week in April. This time of year, spring is so
busy.
Hot. Graduation season, so... And we're not limited. I might have a client say, I need you to do a site visit. Help me figure out where the rentals go. Give me a few catering suggestions, but I don't need full service. And that's where I think we're different at Events by Renee. We meet you where you are and then help you tie up the loose ends. A lot of our brides love our day of package, our 6-week package. And we are strictly logistics. We'll give opinions on decor and design, but really we are keeping the vendors in line. We're finding you the best price for options. We're running that timeline and making sure everything's on schedule.
Yeah, you probably, even though there's a cost, you probably save money because of all the integration that you can put into everything. That's fantastic.
Yeah, what do you... Party Host Helpers. Sorry.
Right. No, go ahead. Party Host Helpers.
Yeah. So as a wedding and event planner, I kept having clients come back to me and say, you just did my daughter's wedding. I need a bartender this weekend. Can you help me? And just being so well connected, I networked so hard in my 20s to really launch the first business. And it took a long time for it to to be successful, I would say. For me, success was walking away from my other jobs, my babysitting, my PR jobs, my admin jobs, so I could fully be an entrepreneur. But then I thought of party host helpers because there was a need, and I set it up with a 1-800 number, thinking one day I would be national, and it quickly grew. And people were finding us on, through our SEO, through referrals, and now we have 40,000 people in our system any weekend. We might have 70 people out on a Saturday, 40 people out on a Sunday. We just did a big NFL players wedding in Nashville, had about 30 servers there. So it's really cool. And the best part is, I don't have to be there, but I love giving the helpers and the workers just the opportunity to do what they love and make extra money. So.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's a national company, right? That spread like wildfire, and it's so funny. I don't want to use the word funny because that's such a little word, but it's so something. I'll use funny that it took off like wildfire.
Yeah.
And because people need help. I mean, I know lots of times I used to have this big holiday party, which I don't have anymore, which I totally could use your help on if I had it. But, finding bartenders, finding valet parking, finding, who's the entertainment, what is the entertainment. But I like how you have that, but then you also have the events where you can also be a consultant. So you have you have those opportunities where it's not one and done. So if people have a graduation or a shower or, a wedding or a retirement, you're helping for everything. And that's amazing. And you probably do corporate events too. So a little bit of everything because it's so needed.
We love corporate events. We have a big one Thursday. We have a big conference coming to town in June. This year, 2026, with everything happening in Philadelphia, I know we're just going to get more and more. The business will snowball the closer it gets to the dates.
Oh, it's so funny because we were just at a all-day mortgage summit, and it was at the National Press Building Club in DC, and they didn't have any food. We were like, and it was all day, and there was no food. I was like, Renee, I have her on Monday. I need to connect so that you can do that anywhere in the United States and help make sure that they have at least a snack. Because it went, and it was, I thank God I had some goldfish in my purse. So,
good event planner. You got to call them.
Yeah, I know. There was none. So, what do you feel your 3 keys to success has been? Because it's obvious how successful you've been. I mean, it's just, even though it's taken time, which everything takes time, it's taken off hugely. What do you think the 3 keys are?
And it's a roller coaster. I mean, Q1 is so quiet for the for the hospitality industry, and Q1 is when we're booking things and we're strategizing, but it's the money is tight in Q1, even with a successful business, because it's just you go from making all this money Q4 and then not again. So my 3 keys, right? You said 3, not 4.
Right. What are your 3 keys?
Okay, awesome. So I would say the first one is patience. Which I still try to teach myself now.
Patience is a virtue that not all of us have. It's a hard struggle.
But I'm a testament to that. I mean, I started in 2008, and I really just thought it would take off, and it didn't. It didn't fully take off until 2015.
Wow.
So patience, grit, you have to get your hands dirty. You can't think, I'm going to be the owner and I'm going to let everything sail and find someone to do it. And it's, we're all in these business groups, and they're always like, the gap and the gain, get people to do stuff. But if you don't have a budget to get people to do stuff, you're doing it, and you're the company, and you need to learn. You better know how to do your financials, your sales, your operations. Because it could all change. And I experienced that with COVID. I mean, I went from almost $1 million business to nothing.
How did that even, I mean, you had to handle that. I mean, complete shutdown, and then back again. How that roller coaster again. How did you ebb and flow with that?
Yeah, so my team, just my luckily everyone was a contractor and they were able to collect something from the government, and I just said, we're to the clients, we're here when you're ready. In certain states we opened up sooner, so we were doing a lot in places like Florida and Texas, and my New York City clients didn't come back for a while, and same with Philly. So we just, from a marketing and branding perspective, we were just pushing out fun party ideas at home constantly. A lot of other event planners, they move towards like doing Zoom events and things like that. It never really stuck with me. I'm a people person. I like to be in person. So we were here when they were ready, and we quickly rebuilt. But what happened was, because so many caterers had let go of their team, when business started coming back, they needed us in a bad way. I mean, I had a caterer in Montgomery County who spent $250,000 on us in 1 year because he didn't rebuild his team and he needed our staff, which I was thankful for that. So it was almost like we had a surplus of business in 22 and part of 23 and 21. 21, 22, and then by 23 it's sort of like went back down to where it probably would have been and stabilized. So it was hard for a lot of businesses, and in your industry too. So what did I say? Patience.
So patience, grit.
Just networking. Belly to belly.
How do you find networking as a woman has been for you over the last 2 decades?
It's been great for me. I have connections that I made 20 years ago that can still call me and use my services, or vice versa. When I first started, I was in organizations like BNI, which is very time consuming. I don't have time for it right now, but I made some really great connections. Karan was in my first BNI group, actually, our president of EO, which is so funny. I was in a group called Femfessionals. I was one of the first members, and that was huge. And that group is still happening. And then what a turning point for me was outgrowing some of the networking I was doing and really honing in and focusing on rooms I wanted to be in, like EO, president-elect for NABO South Jersey. So I moved from PA to New Jersey 5 years ago, and I wanted to meet all these new people and make a name for myself again there. So that was a great focus for me. And now it's like next level, which is hard. I just got back from Arizona. I knew no one, and I'm not used to that. And that really humbles me when I walk into a room and know no one. I'm like, this is where I should be, though. I should be meeting new faces. I'm a nationwide company. I should be talking to people in Chicago and New York and LA about my business. And it's hard being a mom. I have a 4-year-old and a husband who also travels. But I'm like, man, if this was the old me, I'd be in a new city every week networking. I
know. That is, I went from on a national to not national, back to national again. And that is hard. It is hard to keep that pace and to understand that sometimes you will walk into a room and know almost no one. And how do you integrate that into your, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to eat dinner in my room tonight, how do you just go down to the lobby and just sit there and know people are going to come up to you? That is hard. And, but you have to be out there.
It's hard.
Yeah. Even as an extrovert, we're both extroverts, and it's hard, and you have to have a certain energy. And I was just in DC. You were in Arizona. I was in DC last week, and I came back and I was spent for the weekend. I was exhausted, and it wasn't that I was out until 2 a.m. every night. It was just that the energy that you exert to have, that belly to belly and be in it and present, is these days an effort. If I'm not mistaken, you brought up having a 4-year-old, right? It's 4-year-old, right? So a little girl. How and that was right when your business has been crazy busy, and your husband works and travels too. How is it to have some harmony in a home life where, you're running a huge multi-million-dollar business? You want to love on your little one as much as you can. How is the balance of that? I know there's no such thing as balance. How do you integrate being a great mom and a great CEO?
So for me, there's definitely seasons and waves. and I don't let the seasons or the waves go too long. Like, I know the end point, and then I know that I will have more time at home, or I know that once I get to, this point on the calendar, I'm good for a couple months. For me, it's like, I could be out every night of the week, networking, going out with friends. I mean, maybe not going out with friends, but there's always something to do, and I so many organizations in Philadelphia, and I try to limit my nights out during the week. I try to keep it one night a week for work stuff or friend stuff. If a friend's like, oh, let's go see Devil Wears Prada this week, and I look at that calendar and I'm like, I'm out 2 nights already, working an event and attending a networking event that I have to be at. I say no, and I hate that, but I have to say no a lot more. I try to do the activities. Like, I was gone last week. My husband's gone this week, so I'm on mom duty, and I don't have anything on the calendar except for Thursday. I have to work a big event. So, but then I'm working Saturday night. So it's like a balance of, all right, what time do I have to work Saturday? 2:00. All right, let me make sure I spend time with her in the morning. I have one child. I don't know how families with more than one do it, but maybe they wouldn't have as many responsibilities or work.
It's definitely difficult. I mean, and as they get older, you do feel like you have a 5-ring circus at times for sure.
Sports and activities and.
I tried to limit my you say you try to do 1 or 2 days a week. I tried to limit my travel to once a month, and I got into that habit of once a month, and now I'm traveling more than once a month, and I'm an empty nester, so now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How do people do this if they have kids? It is a lot to be out repetitively a lot of different times, and there is a balance of having help. I know that help really helped me a lot when I was running a business and having little ones, and knowing that it's okay to have help, knowing that it's okay to have somebody pick someone up after school or be there for bedtime. That is okay. And I think for moms, sometimes they think it's not okay, and it is okay.
Yeah. It's okay. And, for me, it's not so much about the big timing that I'm working on. It's like the little timing. Like, when I'm home, why do I have to have my phone in front of my face? I don't. And I struggle with that because it's like I'm always checking my email. Or maybe for me to decompress, it's like scrolling Instagram. But my kid's going to grow up with a mom who has a phone in her face. And the same with my husband's not as bad as me. But so I'm really trying to work on just tweaking those little things and being really present when I'm home. Making dinner, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny. My children didn't grow up with being in the back seat on a telephone.
Yep.
They didn't have telephone. I didn't let my children have telephones until they were in high school. But that car ride was always a lot of chit chat in our homes, and I can see. Now, when I have other younger friends with families that their kids are on their phones or their iPads while they're in the car, and I feel like sometimes they're missing out by that one-on-one of being, even though you're driving, you are present because you don't have the phone with you a lot of the time. You're not scrolling social. So I think that would be definitely a struggle. I know that when I have my phone and my dog's sitting on my lap, he noses it out. I'm like, oh God, the dog doesn't even like me having the phone.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so, I don't let her have a device in the car. I mean, maybe a plane ride, but
yeah, a plane ride for sure. Yeah. Patience, grit, networking. What's one challenge that you feel you faced that has shaped who you are today?
Oh gosh, I mean, COVID was one of them. For sure. And then I lost my dad to suicide when I was 24, almost 25, in 2006. So I was thinking about that recently because I was like, my gosh, it's crazy how everyone has a story, right? And everyone has something traumatic. Hopefully not everyone, but a lot of people have traumatic things in their lives that shape them. And I think for me, that was a turning point. Like, okay, how do I beat the genetics or just, growing up with someone who had depression issues and had health issues? I want to live my best life. And I don't want to be held back by mental illness and I don't want this situation to define me. So I think what it really did was it made me grow up really fast, and it made me strive for greatness on a daily basis. I don't know what it was, but it just like something clicked. And from that point on, I was really, really focused on my career and building something with my own hands.
Yeah, what you build. So I saw you on one of the morning shows. You were like showing how to have like cute Easter drinks and with bunny ears for like the kids. It was so cute. It was so cute, and how to use like non-alcoholic stuff to have like them be colored and and of course blow drying the bags onto the champagne bottles, like so cute. But how does it just come to you that stuff just comes and you're like, oh, this would be a great idea with jelly beans? Like, does that just come to you, or do you leave time to think about things in your daily planner?
I leave time to think. I also have a great assistant, so I could say, tell me what's hot, go on Pinterest, pull some ideas. Because I've been doing this a long time, and it's hard. Like, you don't want to replicate what you did on a TV station 3 years ago. You need to keep it fresh. And I see so many different reels and things like that. I'm like, I did that 3 years ago. I did that. So Pinterest is my best friend when it comes to that. I also know what works at a party. You kind of like, she might send me something that's so complicated. I'm like, A, I don't want to make that on TV. I have like 2 seconds. B, I don't want to buy all the stuff that goes with it. And C, it's too complicated for a party host. You need to keep it simple but impressive. And that's the best part of some of these ideas. They're just easy to do, but your guests are impressed. So
yeah. So what's hot for 2026 this year?
Oh, what's hot? Anything out of the box. Anything different. So brides, we're doing these like phone guest books. So instead of writing a message, your guest, there's like a cool old-fashioned phone. You pick it up, you leave a message. The messages are compiled for the bride and groom, so that's really cool. Still high glamour, a lot of formal, but then I see a move away from barns a bit and just really leaning into more garden parties, outdoor events, colors coming back finally. For so long we had so many whites and blushes and like I have 4 weddings in a row this season and they're all bright colors, and I'm so excited just to get some color going again. So and then
it's so funny. I have 2. I haven't had weddings in a long time. My children are 22 and 25, so we've gone a long time, and I have 2 weddings on May 30th in different states. Not even in like Indiana and Virginia. So I'm gonna make it to the Virginia one. Can't get to the Indiana one, but I also garden party, outdoor. Wear a wedge. Dressed in a sundress that's semi-formal somehow, so it's a good season, but I'm really looking forward to them. And you're right, it's not the barn, and one's in someone's backyard overlooking a beautiful mountain in Virginia, which is so it will be beautiful. Mm-hmm. So actually I should refer you to them, but because they're having it at their house that they're just moving into. So what's a piece of advice that you always use?
Gosh, for like someone just starting out, or just in general?
In general, like what's something that you genuine,
when you're networking,
authentic
with vendors. For my business, it's like, I might work from Events by Renee and Parties Helpers. I mean, you get one chance to make this impression with our staff or with our planning, and you just be genuine and be connected to the vendors, to the venue, to the client, and then that spurs referrals and them coming back. I mean, people come back for other siblings and friends. So
it's a big referral. It's referral.
Yeah, so I think being genuine, especially in networking too.
Absolutely. So I love watching you grow and everything you do. If I was not a mortgage person, I would be a party planner. I swear I would be working with you, for you, because I think that I love having a good party. It's one of my most favorite things. Mortgages were my path, so that's the way that I went. But it's something I've loved watching you grow, and I've loved watching you be on a national stage and do such a great job. And if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how would they reach out to you, Renee? Renee?
Yeah, sure. So my email is just renee@partyhosthelper.com. You can follow Fun Party Tips at Party Host Helpers. Our website is partyhosthelpers.com. My planning website is eventsbyrenee.net. You can check out events_by-Renee. I think that's it. For our Instagram, too, we always have pretty weddings and pretty event details on there.
Yeah, I love I'm a scroller, so I love scrolling your Instagram. I'm a big follower, liker, fan of yours. So we're going to put everything below. And thanks for your time today, Renee. I can't wait till you take it to even the next level and see. I love watching you. So thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being an EO member. And thanks for being on Grab Your Keys. So everyone, comment, share, and we'll see you next time on Grab Your Keys.